The 2024 election is coming up soon, and if you're anything like me, you don't want to think about it. It's scary and it's frustrating. And when we're faced with a situation that seems like it's out of our control, we just want to put it out of our minds so it doesn't feel so stressful. But it's only out of our control if we check out, don't pay attention, and disengage. So let's engage. What is at stake in this election? What does it mean for labor, and what can we do about it? Let's start on a positive note. Over the past 4 years, the National Labor Relations Board, which governs union organizing and protects workers' rights, issued a multitude of pro-worker rulings. These rulings make it easier for workers to form unions and to recover damages if their rights were violated. The board also issued rulings expanding individual rights, such as banning non-compete clauses. The current administration has also worked to ensure that publicly funded projects create good union jobs. The previous administration, on the other hand, actively worked to roll back workers' rights. They weakened OSHA and other federal agencies charged with protecting workers' rights, appointed anti-union judges to the federal bench, and appointed a union buster as the Secretary of Labor. I mean, come on. The Trump administration also attacked federal unions. They revoked the Department of Education workers' contract, stripped protections from VA workers, and restricted the kinds of issues that workers could bargain over. And I could go on. So we've seen what the Trump administration did in his last term. What will they do if they win again? Project 2025 is over 900 pages, detailing how a future Trump administration would destroy our way of life. Its plans include making it easier to union bust by removing your legal protections, making it harder to form a union by limiting how unions can certify, allowing cities, counties, and states to opt out of federal labor laws like minimum wage and safety regulations, and allowing federal agencies to conduct witch hunt investigations of unions, sucking up time and resources without even receiving a complaint. And there are many, many, many more. Project 2025 would destroy the labor movement as we know it. All the rules would change practically overnight, sending us back to the Industrial Revolution. All of this is frankly terrifying, but it sure makes the choice ahead of us pretty clear. This is an election that affects everyone. The consequences are stark for labor, but the impacts on us range far beyond our workplaces. This is a war on working people, and it's fought on multiple fronts.
Right, so a fight for social justice is a fight for worker power. A fight for worker power is the racial justice fight, right? Though there is no separating those things. I think far too often we allow kind of the noise to create those separate pools when they're not. It is one pool that is happening. We have to continue to fight as if it is. So
we can't afford to only focus on a single front. Not only would that limit us in defending ourselves, but it would also separate us from potential allies.
At the forefront is the fact that racial justice and the way it shows itself undermines kind of the solidarity and equality that is a very pillar of what we do as labor, right?
So let's talk. Let's talk about solidarity.
You are going to be putting in a lot of time with these folks. They will become like family. And we all want to take care of family.
About strength in numbers.
This movement is about collective power. And if we aren't listening to the collective or to the issues that they're facing, then we are no better than what's on the other side.
About supporting our union brothers and sisters and our soon-to-be union brothers and sisters.
From my perspective, it seems that a lot of the drive amongst people who have become involved in organizing previously largely non-union sectors has been so that they can collectively make employers respect them as complete people, as queer people.
Let's talk about how labor only wins if we all win. Because there are no good jobs on a burning planet, no fair wages if there's discrimination, and no middle class without affordable healthcare, housing, and education. What are we even doing if we aren't fighting for this stuff too?
Right? Everybody's family deals with different issues, right? So why shouldn't we take those issues? Why shouldn't we lend our weight and our collective strength to those issues to ensure that at the end of the day, everybody is feeling, heard. They're feeling like, we care.
So what can we do? Vote. phone bank, knock on doors. There's no such thing as a perfect candidate, but one candidate is clearly much better than the other.
This is not a conversation around the lesser of two evils, right? On one side, there is kind, there is humane, there is opportunity. On the other side is the absolute devil, right? Who is looking to set us back, to put us back in a position of oppression, to not only oppress people of color, but the LGBTQ community. Anybody who does not agree with them, they are looking to oppress.
We've gone over their records, and the Trump administration has told us what they'll do if we let them back into office.
On a surface level, it may seem that most workers are disconnected from any movement for queer rights. At the same time, if a workplace or a government can get away with taking away or not letting queer people enforce their rights, what's stopping them from taking away the rights of other people as well?
And there's also the down ballot races, which are just as important. The Area Labor Federation is releasing a political scorecard so you can see where your candidates fall on the issues. Each candidate was scored in 5 categories: labor, economy, racial justice, gender justice, and climate. This way, you can see not just how often a candidate stands with labor on the organizing, wage, and benefit issues, but also whether a candidate supports your right to choose, the right of your children to live in a safe and healthy environment, your right to be free from discrimination, and your right to be supported and uplifted in the economy. All these rights are tied together, and you can't really pick and choose which ones you want to defend.
I would say that you can't separate one from the other. I would say that they are immensely interconnected.
You cannot access all of your rights as a worker if you cannot access all of your rights as a queer person, and vice versa.
Organized labor means solidarity. That is our strength.
Organized labor is an avenue through which people have exercised power together repeatedly in the past, and I see it as the most likely and most viable route for people to exercise power to gain and enforce their rights as queer individuals as well.
We win when we stand together, and not just union members, but the entire working class, fighting to protect each other and secure the future we deserve. Remember, our unions exist so that we can protect each other from exploitation and hold our bosses accountable. We must hold politicians accountable in the same way, because they have power over much more than how much you make and what benefits you receive. Expect more. Demand more. That's what labor's all about. Look to the scorecards and look to the AFL-CIO's endorsed candidates. Show your power at the ballot box and keep holding our leaders accountable, both now and after the election. Remember what's at stake and keep demanding better, because that's what we deserve. And this is how we get it, one step at a time.
We are their biggest threat. It is our ability to connect to people, to move the masses. That is the biggest threat against any type of authoritarian regime, right? We've got to get our shit together.